talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning.
Hope we see a level of toughness with the game coming back. And I hope he calls everybody out.
Well,
I hope he calls everybody out.
There is a storm coming to the NBA, and its name is Michael Jordan. Not the player, not the owner, the truth teller. The one voice that commands a room without raising it. Stephen A. Smith is ringing the bell, warning everyone that Jordan is about to bring a level of honesty this league has not seen in decades. And this is not just another soundbite. It is a message to the entire NBA world. Jordan is not showing up to smile for the cameras or hug it out with today's stars. He is coming with truth. Raw, unfiltered truth. This will not just shake up conversations at the barbershop. It will send tremors through front offices, locker rooms, and media circles. It will be especially interesting to see what he has to say about LeBron James, a man often compared to him but never quite accepted in his shadow. Will Jordan's blunt words finally put an end to the GOAT debate or start a new fire? This is NBA Showdown, and in this video, we break down Stephen A. Smith's take on Jordan's brutal return and why this honesty could change everything. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you never miss a drop of this fire content. When Stephen A. Smith warned that Michael Jordan is going to be brutally honest come the start of the 2025 to 2026 NBA season, it was not a casual statement. This is a declaration. Jordan has never been known to sugarcoat his opinions, whether it was calling out his teammates back in the day or challenging the league's status quo. Honesty has been his trademark. So when Stephen A. says he is going to speak with brutal honesty, that means a lot of uncomfortable truths are about to hit the surface. The players today are used to curated feedback, protected reputations, and polished PR moves, but Jordan is coming from a different era, a place where truth was sacred even if it hurt. His return in this new role is not about nostalgia. It is about accountability. He will not be here to make friends. He will be here to evaluate talent, effort, mentality, and heart. That kind of energy is rare in today's environment, and it is bound to shake foundations. The NBA has grown softer in some aspects, more image-conscious, and more tolerant of underperformance. Jordan's brutal honesty is going to cut through all of that, and when that happens, the reactions will be split. Some will resist it, others will embrace it, but no one will ignore it. It sets the tone for a new kind of dialogue in the league, one that demands substance over style. That is the shakeup people are not ready for, and it is long overdue.
Let me tell you something about Michael Jordan. He's going to be brutally honest.
Stephen A. Smith doubling down and saying that the Michael Jordan he knows will be as candid as it gets when it comes to basketball reveals just how intense this return will be. Jordan is not known for passive opinions. When he speaks, he slices straight through the noise. This is not about being harsh for entertainment. This is about speaking truth from the perspective of someone who defined excellence. When Jordan evaluates this generation, his words will carry more weight than anyone else's because he lived it, dominated it, and set the gold standard. He is not going to tiptoe around issues like load management, lack of defensive effort, or players joining forces instead of competing. He will not pretend that things are okay just to avoid controversy. This level of candidness is going to create friction. Players who idolized him may now find themselves on the receiving end of his disappointment, but that is where growth happens. That is how you separate the serious from the superficial. Jordan's brutally candid voice is going to force a reality check across the board. From coaches to stars, from bench players to executives, no one will be spared if they are not meeting the mark. And that might just be the wake-up call the league needs. This is not about tearing players down. It is about holding them up to the mirror and showing them what greatness truly looks like. And it will be fascinating to see how that honesty applies to LeBron James.
The Michael Jordan I know, when talking basketball, he is as candid as it gets.
When Stephen A. jokes that if Jordan decides to be shy about what he sees, he'll be in his ear reminding him not to hold back, it shows just how important it is that Jordan speaks his mind. The very idea that Jordan would ever be hesitant to call things out is laughable to those who know him. That comment is both playful and serious because it highlights attention in today's NBA culture. Players today are insulated by layers of support, media training, and brand management. Honesty is often mistaken for hate. So if Jordan starts calling out poor effort, soft competition, or fake rivalries, it will catch people off guard. Stephen A. is making it clear that this is not going to be a quiet or polite evaluation tour. It is going to be sharp, it is going to be personal, and it is going to be necessary. There is a line between being respectful and being silent. Jordan knows how to walk that line with precision. If anything, his silence in recent years has made the league forget what tough love looks like. Now, with Stephen A. hyping this return, it adds pressure. Jordan will not be speaking from a place of hate. He will be speaking from a place of legacy, and that is where the sting will come from. Players will be forced to decide whether they want to rise to the occasion or shrink from the challenge. Either way, this era is about to hear from the loudest quiet voice in basketball history.
And I don't think that he's going to be shy about saying what he sees at all. In fact, if he is, he's going to have to deal with me because I'm going to be in his ear telling him, oh, we getting shy now. That's what we do. That's what we do. That ain't the one I named him MJ. I know.
Stephen A., responding to the idea that LeBron hurt the league by joining Miami and saying he agrees but not for the reasons others do, points to a deeper conversation Jordan might take on. This is not just about team hopping. It is about culture shifting. When LeBron made that move, it set a trend. Superstars stopped wanting to beat each other. They wanted to team up. That move altered the DNA of competition in the NBA. Michael Jordan, being the ultimate competitor, is not likely to see this shift as progress. He came from an era where you built your team, stuck it out, and earned your place through grit. The idea of forming super teams goes against everything Jordan stood for. That is the kind of brutal honesty Stephen A. is warning about. If Jordan comments on how that culture weakened the league, it will not be taken lightly. It will spark a new debate, perhaps a necessary one. Players may feel targeted, but they need to realize the point is not to criticize, but to challenge. LeBron may be the face of this era, but that does not mean he is immune to critique. Jordan's brutal honesty could push the NBA to reevaluate what it values and how it builds its stars. That shakeup might be exactly what the league needs to find its fire again.
LeBron may have hurt the league. Fine, I can side with that. Not for the reasons you're articulating. Is when he joined Miami. You had everybody trying to join with one another.
When Patrick Bet David expressed hope that Jordan would call out those damaging the integrity of the modern game, it was more than just a casual remark. It was a reflection of the current frustration many fans and analysts share about the direction the NBA has taken. Stephen A. Smith agreed with this hope, recognizing the dire need for accountability at the highest level. If there's anyone capable of setting the league straight, it is Michael Jordan. His return as a commentator or overseer could inject a dose of truth into a culture filled with excessive flattery and unchecked egos. There is a longing for someone who is not afraid to highlight what is truly going wrong on and off the court. Jordan, with his unmatched legacy and firm personality, becomes the perfect candidate to answer that call. His voice carries weight beyond stats or nostalgia. It speaks to a standard that has slowly faded. While others may hesitate to challenge the power structure or the stars of today, Jordan would not. His honesty is expected to expose what many insiders already know but are too cautious to say. His critique, backed by his legendary resume, would not be brushed aside as old-school bitterness. Instead, it would stand as a much-needed wake-up call. This statement by Patrick reveals the urgency of Jordan's role and shows just how impactful his presence and voice will be when the time comes. The modern NBA is often driven more by narratives than competitiveness. Jordan's input could shift that balance. The players might not welcome it at first, but the fans and analysts understand its value. When Jordan speaks, he speaks from a place of greatness, and if he calls you out, you better believe it's for a reason. This type of no-nonsense leadership is what the league has lacked. By aligning himself with this desire for Jordan's honesty, Patrick confirms what we all expect. Jordan's brutal truth-telling is not just wanted, it is needed. That is how change happens. Not through whispers, but through voices strong enough to move the game forward.
Hope we see a level of toughness with the game coming back, and I hope he calls everybody out.
Well,
I hope he calls everybody.
Stephen A. Smith's agreement with the idea that LeBron James hurt the league, though for different reasons than suggested, highlights one of the most controversial turning points in NBA history. He emphasized that LeBron's decision to join the Miami Heat created a ripple effect across the league, where collaboration began to replace competition. What once was a league of fierce individual battles turned into one of collective alliances. Teams no longer built legacies from within, but instead relied on superstar pairings and trios formed behind closed doors. This altered the competitive landscape forever. The balance of the league shifted, not because LeBron was not great, but because the model he helped create undermined the very essence of rivalry and team building. When Stephen agrees that LeBron's move weakened the league, it is a rare admission of how even greatness can cause unintended harm. Jordan, who competed in an era where building through adversity was a badge of honor, would undoubtedly look at this shift with criticism. His voice would carry more than just personal opinions. It would resonate with generations of fans and players who valued grit over convenience. This kind of brutal honesty will shake the NBA to its roots. LeBron's legacy might still be historic, but it cannot be protected from scrutiny. Stephen's comment also implies that the culture of the NBA has been overly sanitized, reluctant to criticize its biggest stars. Jordan's return would be the antidote to that hesitation. By stating that he agrees with LeBron hurting the league, Stephen sets the stage for Jordan to confirm or even expand on that viewpoint. Such a statement, especially coming from Jordan, would challenge the modern structure of how teams and players operate. It could influence front offices, shift media narratives, and perhaps even affect how young stars choose their paths. LeBron's impact is undeniable, but that impact includes both triumphs and disruptions. Jordan's voice might be the only one strong enough to unpack that fully, and if he chooses to do so, the league will have no choice but to listen. Brutal honesty from a legend cannot be ignored.
To me, is top 2 all time. Now, if you disagree, you disagree. Where I get annoyed is when somebody's acting like I'm hating or disrespecting because I got them 2. The NBA started in 1947, goddamn.
by calling LeBron James the #2 greatest of all time and acknowledging the backlash he receives for that. Stephen A. Smith hits on a deeper issue that Jordan's return will force the NBA to confront: the hypersensitivity surrounding legacy debates. LeBron supporters are quick to cry disrespect, even when admiration is clearly expressed. To Stephen, it is baffling how acknowledging LeBron's greatness while still ranking Jordan higher can cause such outrage. The fact that calling someone the second greatest ever is seen as an insult only proves how distorted the conversation has become. This is where Jordan's brutal honesty becomes so essential. He does not need to tiptoe around people's feelings or massage anyone's ego. Jordan speaks in absolutes, backed by results that require no defending. When he returns to the spotlight, the debate will no longer be shaped by emotion, but by irrefutable truth. LeBron's accolades are impressive, yet they do not eclipse Jordan's legacy. That is not hate, that is historical accuracy. The need to be brutally honest about where LeBron truly stands is not a slight to him. It is a matter of maintaining the integrity of the sport's narrative. Jordan has earned the right to set the record straight, not because he wants to be admired, but because he knows what greatness truly looks like. His voice will break through the noise, especially at a time when facts have taken a backseat to fandom. Stephen pointing out this odd backlash sets up Jordan's return perfectly. It gives him the opportunity to declare, without apology, where he stands on the GOAT debate, and when he says it, the discussion will feel final. Jordan's presence and his words will remind the world that respect for LeBron is not the same as crowning him. Elevating one legend should never require rewriting the legacy of another. When Jordan speaks, it will not be out of jealousy or insecurity. It will be truth spoken by the one who defined excellence. The #2 spot is not an insult, it is an honor. But that honor cannot and will not replace the greatness that belongs to Michael Jordan.
Talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning.
Michael Jordan's return to the NBA's front lines in any form, whether as an analyst, executive, or mentor, will not just be a headline, it will be a reckoning. The league has drifted far from the principles that once made it great. Brutal honesty is in short supply. Too often, media and fans tiptoe around reality to preserve fragile legacies. But Jordan has never been interested in playing that game. His arrival promises a voice that cuts through the fog. Every quote, every prediction, every call-out he delivers will echo across the league. He will not be afraid to say what others only think. LeBron's place in history, the state of competitiveness, the mentality of the modern athlete, Jordan will speak on all of it, not to demean, but to redefine. The current culture may not be ready for that level of transparency, but it is exactly what the NBA needs. It will stir debates, rattle egos, and maybe even offend a few stars. But that's how growth begins. That is how you shake a league that has grown too comfortable. Jordan's return is not about nostalgia, it is about truth. And in that truth, the NBA will be forced to look itself in the mirror. The message is clear. Brutal honesty is coming, and when it does, the game will never be the same.